In the headlines, relatives of abducted train passengers protest in Abuja. Bandit attack in Abuja forces evacuation of students in community school. Blackout looms as electricity workers join NLC ASU protest. And on the foreign scene, Draupadi Murmu takes oath as India's first tribal president. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. And now the news in detail. 3 victims of Abuja Kaduna-bound train attack have regained freedom 24 hours after terrorists released a disturbing video where some of the victims were being tortured. Daily Trust is reporting that the freed victims, a female and 2 males, have reunited with family members. It was not clear if ransom was paid before their release, but Kaduna-based publisher Tukur Mamu confirmed their release to Daily Trust. Meanwhile, families of victims of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack are calling on the government to negotiate with the terrorists, keeping their relatives in captivity. They made the call on Monday at the Ministry of Transportation in Abuja, where they had converged to make their grievances known. The renewed agitation of the families follows footage released on social media showing the terrorists beating their captives.
The victim is my sister, my elder sister, and her 2 years daughter. The 2 year daughter became the 2 years. She completed the 2 years inside the forest.
Okay, can you tell me the name of your sister and her age and her daughter?
My sister's name is Hafsat Abdullahi. The daughter is Baby Islam, and she's 41-year-old.
All right. What happened when she left home?
She came for our younger sister's wedding here in Abuja because she is married and stays in Kaduna with her husband and 6 kids, plus this one 7. So she came for the wedding and she was going back on 28th, and me, I was in the hospital self because I was pregnant. Then. I was in the hospital. She now said, okay, she will stay. And when she now left, we were calling her. I want to come and see me before going. She said, let her go first. She will talk to me. She now went. Up till now, we've not seen her.
Okay.
Our mommy took her to the railway station. We called. They said she's not home. The next thing we hear is kidnapper, bandit this, bandit that. No, her number was not going to be again.
And the Minister of Transportation, Muazu Sambo, who interacted with the victims' families, however, appealed to them to give him some time to study the situation.
This Monday would have been the first time that I was going to be receiving briefings about activities of the ministry and its agencies. Before I resumed, I had spoken to the permanent secretary to try and get in touch with the victims, with the families of the victims of the unfortunate train incident. The intention was, my first port of call will be to hold a dialogue with you guys. Okay?
Yes.
My first intention was to hold a dialogue with you people and empathize with you. Government is made up of individuals, like I, the permanent secretary, and so on and so forth. Each of us have families. We feel for the families of this unfortunate incident.
And students of Federal Government College Kwali Abuja have been moved out of their hostels following bandits' attack at a nearby community. Daily Trust reports that parents were at the school on Monday morning to take their children from the school located at Shedda village along Abuja-Lokoja Highway. Attempt to have access to the school was not successful, and the school management could not be reached for comment. At the time of filing this report, the FCT Police Command spokesperson DSP Adi Josephine was indisposed to comment. And more than 8,000 people were displaced from Shimfida community in Jibia local government area of Katsina State. This was as a result of the Nigerian army withdrawing their troops from an area located in the frontline areas. For the first time, displaced victims visited Shimfida to weigh the level of damage and the possibility for resettlement. Jamil Mabey tells us more.
These burnt houses are a graphic reminder of the carnage that took place in Shimfida community in Jibia local government of Katsina State. Not a single bullet was fired, yet 9 people lost their lives from the stampede caused by fear and anxiety. These women you are seeing, they came here on foot. No bullet was fired or shot at somebody, but 8 people died. They died due to the stampede after thrown into a car. According to the victims, stationed army personnel began impromptu withdrawal from the community. Soon, locals panicked. At the end, the commandant said we should tell our people to follow them after they finish parking. Before you know, people panicked. For 7 years, we have been feeding the government on any information that has to do with security. Yet, in broad daylight, they decided to be unjust to us. For the first time, displaced victims travel through the roads leading to Shimfida community. With a bad road network, it's hard for motorists and security personnel to respond in case of an emergency. Inside the community, the hallmark of bandits' terror. Destruction, which comes without warning. With empty streets, a once lively Shimfida is lifeless. The purpose of the visit was to have on-the-spot inspection for a possible resettlement. We don't have anything to come back and do in Shimfida. We have lost everything in this world. We lost everything. We have all seen our houses. What will you tell your family when you go back? They should give up. There is no hope of going back. For now, their only hope of resettlement lies in the hands of the government. And with 5 months gone, how much more will they have to wait? Jamil Mabey, Trust TV, Katsina.
And still on insecurity, gunmen on Sunday attacked a police station in Okpanam, Oshimili North local government area of Delta State, killing 3 policemen who were said to be responding to a distress call by members of the local vigilante. Confirming the incident in a telephone interview, police spokesperson Edafe Bright said one of the attackers has been arrested and investigation is ongoing to ensure the arrest of others.
Men of Okpanam Division, while responding to a distress call, were ambushed by unknown persons, unknown armed hoodlums, and they killed 3 of our personnel. The command has been able to arrest one of the suspects who is helping us with useful information. We're also using this opportunity to call on members of the public who has 1 or 2 information that can help us.
And leaders of the vigilante in the area disclosed that 3 of the local vigilantes who sustained injuries are recuperating, with one of them in severe condition at the emergency ward of the Federal Medical Center.
Exactly. I don't actually know what happened because we shared ourselves. Some people are in the other side. We are in the other side with all these guys. Early this morning, one of my men called me, Oga, see what is happening, see what is happening. We are in Chelsea Hospital, and I said, wow. I rushed down to a Chelsea Hospital. I see so many people lying down. One of them is fainting, and I took that one, put inside my car, drove down here. That is why we're here treating the guys this morning.
And on to election matters. The Ogun State's Governor, Dapo Abiodun, has declared Tuesday as a work-free day in the state as the deadline for voters' registration comes to a close. The governor said this in a statement issued by his chief press secretary, Kunle Samori, in Abeokuta. He said the one-day public holiday is to provide a window for all workers in the state who have either lost their cards, not registered, or who might need to travel to their wards, local government areas and constituencies to perfect their permanent voters registration or transfer their cards where necessary to enable them to participate in the next general elections. The governor urged all eligible voters to seize the opportunity of the holiday to go to their wards and constituencies to search for their registered voter cards, fill the claims and objection forms, and transfer the PVCs where necessary. And ahead of the 2023 general elections, Muslims have been charged to partake actively in electoral process and stay away from any form of electoral fraud. An associate professor of Arabic Studies of Osun State University, Osogbo, Dr. Mikhail Folorunshaw, gave the charge in Osogbo at colloquium organized by Osun State Muslim community as part of events marking the new Hijra year. Folorunshaw appealed to Muslims to shun vote buying during 2023 elections and vote for competent candidates in order to enthrone good governance in the state.
Alhamdulillah, the colloquium discusses Muslim participation in politics, and part of what we discussed was that Muslims should participate fully in politics, and a Muslim going into politics should be guided by what is contained in the Quran. The first requirement for a Muslim going into politics is understanding the tenets of Islam itself. So if you understand Islam very well, you know what Islam teaches, what is in the Quran, what is in the apostolic tradition, and in the history of the rulers in the past who were Muslims. Muslims will be guided adequately to know what is right and what is not right. The issue of vote buying is un-Islamic. Godfatherism is un-Islamic. And abstaining from voting or participating in politics is also not part of it. It's not part of Islam. What is required of a Muslim is to know that a particular candidate you are supporting, or even if you are a candidate yourself, asking for votes from people, is to be guided by what is contained in the teachings of Islam. If we allow Islam to guide our practices, definitely good governance will be achieved.
And Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria Plateau State Chapter, Reverend Polycarp Lubo, wants people in the state to go about political activities and campaigns ahead of 2023 in a peaceful and violence-free manner. Lubo, who speaks to Trust TV in Jos, the Plateau State capital, said elections is not a do-or-die affair, advising politicians to endeavor to imbibe the legacy of former President Goodluck Jonathan, who said his political ambition is not worth anyone's blood. The CAN chairman then urged INEC to properly investigate the recent videos circulating on social media where permanent voters' cards were seen dumped in a gutter in a part of the country.
I'm calling on all, particularly Nigerians and in particular the Christians, to come out and get their PVC and make sure they do the right thing by voting the right person. It is not a do or die affair. Leadership comes from God, but He uses the human beings to bring the leadership. That's why in Latin it says, Vox Populi, Vox Dei. The voice of the people is equally the voice of God. So allow yourself to be used by God to bring the right person. There's no need to be fighting, there's no need to be killing, and don't allow yourself to be used by politicians so that they go and create chaos, create trouble, so that they will destroy the good atmosphere of the electoral processes. So I encourage Nigerians to make sure that they do the right thing by voting the right people. And then nobody, like Jonathan would say, nobody's life is worth this election. But people should come out and do the right thing by putting the right people in the right position.
Still talking politics, concerned members of the People's Democratic Party in Zamfara State are calling on the national leadership of the party to come save the PDP in the state from collapsing. The spokesman for the PDP concerned members, Nasir Al-Hassan, claims that the state executive of the party lacks proper coordination that can lead the party to victory in 2023, even though it has a sellable governorship candidate in the state. The report.
The concerned members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Zamfara State want the national leadership of the party to rejig the state's executive in order to bring in more competent hands that can lead it to victory in the 2023 general election. A chieftain of the party in the state, Nasir Al-Hassan, claimed the state's leadership is in slumber and needs to wake up to strengthen the party's preparedness to face the incumbent governor in the 2023 general election, as the PDP stands a chance to win the governorship election with a landslide in the state. The group also claimed the state's party secretariat has been under lock and key instead of being open to attend to party issues.
Generally speaking, Zamfara State PDP is in slumber as it is now. The state SQ are not doing well when it comes to politics. Nobody is saying anything. This is, I think, the 6th or 5th day of the resignation. And no even a communique to the press. No one issued anything. They are taking this as if nothing happened, which is a bad signal to party members. A card-carrying member to come and say he's going out of the party is a minor. Not to talk about a whole deputy state chairman of the party who happens to double up as the same zone with the gubernatorial candidate. So I'm calling on the National Working Committee of the PDP to come to our rescue. Maybe let them charge the state SQ to gear up. Let them charge them up so that they can do what people are expecting them to do.
While responding to the claims of the concerned PDP members, the state chairman of the party, Bala Mande, in a telephone chat said the allegation was a figment of the imagination of the accusers as the party has been working towards success in 2023. On the closure of the party secretariat in Gusau, the state capital, he alleged that the PDP secretariat was destroyed by some political thugs of the All Progressives Congress, APC, while the state government directed the Zamfara State Urban and Regional Planning Board to demolish its secretariat. He said the party had filed a suit challenging the action of the government in court. According to the Zamfara State PDP chairman, the party is waxing stronger and well positioned to win the 2023 general election in the state.
You're watching Trust TV News Updates. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at a national service with a sense of community development. This and other stories after the break. Just stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Update. But before we proceed, a look at our top stories again. We told you that relatives of abducted train passengers protest in Abuja. And a bandits' attack in Abuja forces evacuation of students in community school. And moving on to more stories, the trial census in Daura local government area of Katsina State is progressing steadily but not without some hitches. National Commissioner for Northwest Zone, Bala Banye, is asking stakeholders for more synergy for this exercise to succeed. He made the call while monitoring the trial census in Daura on Thursday. Trust TV's Abdullahi Ahmadi reports.
Daura local government is one of the selected areas where trial census is taking place. Enumerators say they are receiving the much-needed support from residents of Daura and neighboring villages. Going by the records, the trial census is likely to produce good results at the end of the day. The enumerators particularly identify the introduction of new technology as the one factor that is contributing to the success of the process.
1952, 21, 2, 19.
Did you exhaust the battery yesterday?
No.
No?
Yes, at the rate of 30, then we plug the charge.
Okay.
However, one of the enumerators, Mrs. Tani, pointed out that there is an urgent need to beef up manpower to properly execute the exercise in Daura local government.
Did listing that did not require so much in 6 days, and right now we just started, and they've just been able to do just 23 buildings for 2 days. You know that we are begging that the EA should be split, because I've gone round, and in fact in one household it's not as if it's something they are talking about. You will see 42, there's one they cover 41 persons in one building.
Few days into the trial census in Daura local government, the permanent commissioner Bala Banye has come to monitor how the process is going. He agrees that there is their need for more hands to man the exercise.
The purpose of the trial census is actually to see how the operations will be done, to see where corrections can be done, to see observations with regards to the personnel, with regards to the equipment, with regards to the respondents' behavior. Now we are witnesses that we have had a very good response from the population. No enumerator or official is complaining that they are not receiving the necessary cooperation from the population.
Census is a very critical component in planning for national development, but has in the past been compromised by politicians. All eyes are on this trial census, which is a precursor to the main exercise scheduled for March next year. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And a 24-year-old corps member serving in Gombe State, Echefula Wisdom, has constructed a kiosk to shelter police traffic wardens on duty. Wisdom, a graduate of law from Rivers State University, said he constructed the kiosk after observing a traffic warden working without shelter on hot afternoons at a junction in Gombe metropolis. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The 24-year-old, who highlighted some of the challenges in the course of the project, said he was worried by the condition of traffic wardens working under the scorching sun.
Another day when I was going to work, I also noticed the female wardens controlling traffic under the rain. Then a few months back, I also noticed that one of the traffic wardens at Tunfre roundabout was almost hit by a motorcycle. And I said to myself, if I don't do anything, we could possibly hear that one of the traffic wardens has been injured by probably a road accident or whatever thing that doesn't protect them. That's it happened. You know, when you do welding work, the fire sparks will also touch you. You have to go through such sacrifice as well. We also had to go through the sacrifice of funding. Sometimes the money was not there.
A traffic warden spoke on the significance of the traffic kiosk to their work.
It's a very big donation to us because we that used to stand on the road, we know what we are facing. More especially this time around that we are facing August. We cannot control properly if the rain is dropping. So with this, at least, we will discharge our duty diligently.
The Nigeria Police and the National Youth Service Corps are inspired by the Corps members' spirit of community service.
For a copper, wisdom, to have been fit to construct this type of things is a marvelous and welcome idea. I want to say it particularly on behalf of the Inspector of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, and officers and men of the Gombe State Command in particular. We are immensely grateful to a young person like this to have deemed it fit to this type of things to Nigerian police.
Wisdom has deemed it fit to see what he can do for the community of Gombe. And the only thing he can do is to give this traffic boot to the Nigerian police, which is a great stride in nation building.
The traffic kiosk has been stationed at Tufre Junction along Gombe-Bauchi Road. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And away from Nigeria, Draupadi Murmu has been sworn in as India's president, making her the first person from one of the country's marginalized tribal communities to serve as head of state. The former school teacher and state governor was elected to the largely ceremonial position last week with 64% of the vote by members of India's parliament and state assemblies. Murmu, who is from the Sadhal tribe and was born in eastern Odisha state, paid her respect before her inauguration on Monday at a memorial dedicated to India's independence icon, Mahatma Gandhi, in New Delhi. And finally, in sport, Tobi Amusan became the first Nigerian athlete to win a World Athletic Championship gold as she stamped a victory in the women's 100 meters hurdles in Oregon on Sunday. Amusan, who had broken the world record in an astonishing semi-final where she clocked 12 seconds, powered over the line at Hayward Field in 12 seconds. Jamaica's Brittany Anderson took silver in 23 seconds, while Olympic champion Jasmine Camacho, Queen of Puerto Rico, claimed bronze in 12:23 seconds. Amusan had produced a jaw-dropping world record in the semi-finals, smashing the previous best mark of 12:20 seconds held by Kendra Harrison of the United States in 2016. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.